Good morning and welcome to the edition of Rob. My apologies, man. I was having so many system issues this morning. I don't even know what was going on. I couldn't get my cameras to work. I just all kinds of little issues this morning. So I apologize for running so far behind. It just ended up being the way this today had to go. Very, very frustrating. I am not too impressed with how overly long this all took to get up and rolling. I'm here now, and that's kind of what matters. And we can move on and keep it going. So I hope you're all having a good day. Had a good start to your day. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you happen to be. My morning started off a little clunky just because of not being able to get this broadcast started on time. I even tried going to my phone to make it work. And hey, Get Vocal, just so you know, I don't know how to get the mobile app to start recording. I tried and tried and tried, and it didn't seem to want to record. And the recording button that was there didn't seem to want to work. So I'm not too sure what's going on there, but I will figure it out for next time in case I have to go more with a mobile edition. It's neither here nor there. We figured out to get everything working, so it's up and rolling now, and that's all that matters. And I am happy to be here with you this morning. Like I said, it's just it was definitely not how I exactly expected to start my morning, so that's very frustrating, but it kind of is what it is. I got the anger out. I yell at the computer to do the thing, and now we're up and running. I don't know how well this is working. I've been using the Manicam software, which works really well. It is definitely all on the fact that my computer is lower powered, that it does not seem to be working quite the way I would like it to. As a matter of fact, I can see that my cursor is not loving me. So it's kind of janky right at the moment and not really wanting to cooperate super well. But it is doing the trick for the most part. At this point, it's just not doing the trick as well as I would like. So we are definitely going to have to potentially look at something higher powered than what we've got going on right now at some point in the future. Right now, I'm not as concerned about it, but it is definitely something that is going to have to be looked at in the future to provide a better program, obviously. Just because this does end up not working out quite as nicely as I would like in the end with audio and video. The audio seems to come through, but then I'm using the microphone directly through the software, and then the video is as a virtual camera, which definitely needs higher processing power than what I've got on my laptop right at the moment. It did seem to work not too bad when I was testing it out with my Mac Mini. Problem is, with my Mac Mini, is I've got to unhook it from where it is and then hook it all back up. And then if I want to use the Apple TV function on my actual TV, I have to hook it back up. And then as a second monitor, the only other second monitor I have is actually my TV, unless I buy a second monitor as well, which isn't, it's not too expensive. So I could probably look at doing a second monitor at some point. Just right now, it's not something I want to get into. At the point I started getting a second monitor, I could just get a second computer as well. And I already have two monitors that would work with a bit of a more powerful Windows Windows computer. So it is kind of what it is right now. So you know what? I should have just friggin' loaded all this stuff up onto my kid's laptop for when he's not here, and that would have solved all my problems. Just looking over there, I just see it sitting there. I'm like, oh man, I should have just totally loaded this stuff up, and it would have been perfectly fine. So, man, oh well, what do you do, right? So today we look like we're having some overcast, good potential that we may Oh, actually, I don't think we ended up with rain today. We did. I don't think we actually ever ended up with rain yesterday, like they figured we were going to. But I guess you never know. Not too concerned about it. I've got a bunch of things that I need to get taken care of. So the rain can be outside. I've got paperwork things that need to get done, and then I got some indoor activities for the kids kind of planned as well, because I was anticipating the weather being a bit of a turn on us. So uh, we got some little art projects to do, and then we got some computer projects we're going to do as well. And then we're going to work on some reading and writing stuff as well. I know my oldest likes to write stories every so often, so I am going to help him work on some stories to write and see how well that all works for him. Just because we do need to practice his writing abilities as well. So it's going to be a fun time. I'm really looking forward to being able to help him out with it. So I enjoy writing myself. If you haven't noticed, I do have a blog over at rob-hicks.com, and there's a bunch of articles up there. This is actually the first week in over a year that I haven't gotten an article out. I'm still going to try to get one out today. Usually I try to have them out Monday or Tuesday, but this has just been one of those weird, crazy weeks where I just haven't had an opportunity to get one written. Usually I have them done no later than Wednesday morning, typically. Just this week has been it's really just more of an excuse. I should have just sat down and found something to write, but I just didn't give myself the time to be able to do that. So now I'm going to give myself the time today to try and make that happen. It's just I just let the week get away from me. It's all on me. Luckily, though, I did get the Trail Tale episode 47 up onto YouTube. If you go over to youtube.com/the unwired lifestyle. No, that's a little bit of a weird one considering I go by a different name everywhere else. It's from a different I was working on many years ago that did not pan out. So that's what it's called right now. I'm also looking at trying to fix that guy up so it's more of an RH Studios channel, so that way all the stuff that gets done kind of just pops over there. And we are going to work on that one as well. So I hope that. Actually, I know that one will work out fine. It's just getting over there to get it done, basically, is where I'm at right at the moment. Man, oh man, that's good stuff. Throat's a little sore right at the moment from giving my computer a good yell at for not wanting to cooperate this morning. So, yeah, I just can't believe it. Just didn't want to work for me this morning. That's very frustrating indeed. But, oh well, things happen and you just kind of move through it. Yeah, actually, cool aspect of this weekend, which I'm hoping that we can make it for tomorrow, is Sam Arm is actually taking part in the Black Lives Matter protest movement, which we had a good one on yesterday, which I was not able to take part of. I already had prior engagements with the school, and then we have another one planned for tomorrow. Stand on the highway and flash signs and just try to really bring more awareness to the subject. So sorry, just the thought of everything with that. It's very upsetting. No one should have to go through that. Ever. All right. Anyway. Collect myself here a little bit. Sorry about that. It's just a very bothersome subject that we're still having to fight for people's equality and to keep their lives. Like, seriously, like that's crap. Such crap. I can't believe this is something that we're starting to do in the 21st century. Like, as much as I believe the human race is onto a track where we're going to be somewhere good, we still have such a long way to go. What the hell's wrong with us some days? I'm like, geez. Sorry, this isn't supposed to be like a political platform for me, but or any kind of platform where I'm just going to go off on something like that. It's supposed to be kind of lighthearted conversation, but this is just it's one of those situations that's so ridiculous you just can't help talk about it. It's just I know I'm not the most perfect human. Seriously, like people are some people. But one of my friends actually found on Facebook or actually had the magazine. I think it was McLean's from 25 years ago, where Salmon Arm stood up as a community against the KKK, who were trying to have a meeting and a rally at a meeting place in Salmon Arm, and we all, as a community, stood up and told them, "Hell no, you're not doing that in this place." And that your hatred and bigotry is not welcome here. Unfortunately, they are still around. We just not as obvious, and it's a little harder to find them now. But when things like this do come up as a community, we do stand up and do fight against it. And I'm really proud of the community for that. Anyway, I don't know if you've had a chance to, but if you've ever had the opportunity to read a Daniel H. Pink book or listen to it on audio, they are quite amazing. And this is the current one that I am reading, which I think is one of his newer ones, Daniel H. Pink, When? The Scientific Secrets of Perfect Timing. This is actually something I've been really kind of curious about a little bit, is timing throughout the day as to like circadian rhythms a little bit more, whether I'm being a night owl, being a morning person, stuff like that. And just kind of when I get my best work done, and trying to plot out my days as to kind of according to how I am going to work things out for myself. And this is actually a really good book to pick up, because this has actually been explaining a lot more about how things work and how there aren't just early birds and night owls. There's also what he calls as a third bird, which kind of operates somewhere in between, and all the curves kind of work out the same way, just depending on where your rhythm sits in the day. I know for the most part, I'm a little bit more of a morning person, or at least I've become a little bit more, but I'm also a bit more of a night person. So my peak is probably closer to around 1 in the afternoon, and then I go into like a slump. And I know my slump's usually about 3 o'clock, a pretty steep slump. About 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm done, and I usually don't want to do a whole lot. I know that from when I was working. I know that now. I feel it in my system that around that time is just don't do a whole lot between 3 and 4. Just because I know my system and my body are just not going to enjoy it. And then as the night progresses, I usually end up picking up more steam until it's time for bed. I know that kind of emotionally as well, mentally and physically, that's kind of how my body has been working. Is usually I've ramped up to, actually it's probably before 1, because that's kind of a steep drop off between 1 to 3. So probably about like 11, 12 o'clock is usually about where my peak efficiency hits for the morning sessions. And then I drop off till about 3-4, and then I need definitely a good break of some kind. Usually I go out and try and do something, or I unintentionally have a nap, back up and running and ready to keep moving. And then my creativity and everything starts kind of ramping up towards the evening more so as well, which is pretty awesome. So knowing all that kind of stuff makes me feel like I know my system a lot better. I think it's also part of how you work with your self-awareness as well, as just getting to learn how your body and mind kind of function as a unit to be able to get your best performance and your peak efficiency. I am not great or perfect at it yet, but it's getting better. I'm starting to find the times where things fit into my day better, and I'm getting the most out of everything. Or at least closer to the most out of everything. Like anything mentally strenuous, I definitely do feel, pardon me, smarter in the morning and definitely more creative in the evenings. So I try to do all my smart work in the morning where it does require me to be more mentally alert. It also probably helps that I have coffee as well. But I try to be more mentally alert and do those kind of activities in the morning. And then in the evenings, I try to do more of my creative stuff in the evenings. Doesn't always work out super well for me, but at least I know where everything kind of should be sitting, and I do try to make strides to make that happen. So, like I said, try to pick up Daniel H. Pink's When, and I definitely highly recommend picking up that book because it will help you figure out where your capacities will sit and where you should try to focus your work and where you should focus on more creative aspects of your life. All right. So I've been running behind today. I do need to get running now. Now that I've been all fun and games, all emotional, I ran I ran the gamut of emotion already this morning. I want to thank you all for joining me. I look forward to having more conversations with you on Monday morning on the next morning coffee with Rob, and I look forward to chatting with you all some more. I hope you all have a great day, a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you happen to be. And I just want to say thank you again for joining me today. Come on. Oh. And there we go. For joining me again on this episode of Morning Coffee with Rob. All right. We will look forward to talking to you on Monday morning. You all have a great day and stay safe out there and enjoy one another. I hope you all have a great and fantastic weekend. See you later.